Okay, so the second question is about some particular things which we found in the very last lesson. So let's go on with this. Description of different malware, malicious softwares labeled with the letter A and D, and a list of different malwares are given in the first and the second columns of the following label respectively. However, description and the malware are not in the correct order. Match the correct malware from the second column to the description given in the first column. Write down the letter of the description and the correct malware in your answer book. Right? So when you're doing these kind of questions, be very careful to read the questions very well. Otherwise, you will be like answering it in an incorrect way. Right? So here what they are trying to say is write down the letter of the description and correct malware, right? So you should go with these things, with these words, all right? So let's read and see how it's going to happen. The option A, or the statement A in the description says, presents itself as harmless and enters without the knowledge of the user and then could steal and or delete data. So you have spam, you have spyware, that means Trojan horse kind of things, and computer worms and phishing, right? So it says present itself as harmless and enters without the knowledge. Now this, when it says present itself as harmless and enters without the knowledge, it definitely goes with the Trojan horse. If you can remember the story that I told you about the Trojan horse. Trojan horse went to the Troy city without the knowledge of the Troys that the Trojan horse has a army inside it. So the same thing happens to our computer, right? So Trojan horse matches with the statement A. Statement B collects information about bank accounts or electronic accounts using emails and steals cash deposit by deceiving the user. This is an act of phishing. So this goes, statement B goes with the phishing. Unauthorized email, either related to the advertisement about a product or from an unknown person, collects email address and they are used unlawfully. Yes. So like these things happens with the spams. So this goes with the C. And the final one, are capable of acting and spreading alone using email attachments, false website, and instant messaging. So definitely it's the worms. So this is going to be D. Right? So A goes with spyware, B goes with phishing, C goes with spam, and D goes with computer worms. Let's cross-check it with the marking scheme as well. Yes, A is spyware, B is phishing, C is spam, and D is computer worms. Okay, moving to the next question, the second part. Write down two methods for proper disposal of electronic waste. So when it comes to the e-waste, there are three concepts: reduce, reuse, and recycling, right? So I'll go with the marking scheme. It is reuse or either recycle, right? Or reduce, use, maximum usage are not appropriate for disposal, right? So it's better you be aware about it. Reducing will support to minimize the e-waste. But if when we are talking about disposing those, askaranawa කියන එකේදී, right? Disposing goes only with the reuse and the recycling, right? Reduce does not goes with the disposal, right? So reuse and recycle, if you got reuse and recycle, you can collect 2 marks for that, right? In earlier question, 0.5 for each correct answer. So 2 marks is given as well. Right, then the next question, part B of the second part. Write down any 3 recommended correct postures a user should adopt in order to minimize the adverse effect, such as computer vision syndrome, carpal tunnel syndrome, and repetitive stress injuries related to the ICT. Let's go with the marking scheme. So these are the things that they are proposing. So correct eye level, right? Or you can say eye at correct distance from the screen, vertical position of the legs, wrist straight with keypad, straight shoulders, straight back, straight head, right? So they are asking like 3 reasons, right? So 1 mark for each correct answer. So together you are going to take 3 marks for that. Right, so any 3 of this list. So starting from here to here. If you got any alternative answers, please let me know, people. Right? Okay, so moving to the next question, the part C. Consider the following scenario. An information technology manager, IT manager of a company is also an active member of the voluntary organization which support families of low income for education, healthcare, and etc. Without the knowledge of the authorities of the company, he provides a list of email addresses of leading businessmen. Okay, that's not good. Who are customers of his company to the voluntary organization in order to contact them for fundraising. Briefly explain why the act of IT manager is unethical. Yeah, it is definitely unethical. The motive of the IT manager is a good one, right? It is not a bad thing or a illegal thing, right? So like he is just providing some detail to this organization to contact these people and have the support for the fundraising. The motive is positive one, not a negative one. But without the knowledge of the email holders or the contact holders, if someone handed over the details to someone else, since it is not been informed them, or since they do not know that their contact details are given to someone else, it can be taken as an unethical work, right? So that should be your answer. That idea should be in your answer, right? So it says providing confidential data to a third party without a permission or a consent, or like you can say violating of privacy, right? This idea should be there in your answer, right? Then you can take 1 mark for it. And in part C, or part D, they are asking the computer hardware in an office are completely destroyed by a fire. And as a result, some important data is in a storage devices have been lost forever. Briefly explain the precautionary steps that could have been taken to avoid these losses of data. Yeah, the simple precautionary that they could do is they could have the backups in somewhere, so even in the cloud or some particular device, so they could have those data saved even though they are like facing a natural disaster, right? So having that idea will give you 2 marks, right? So it says take backup of the data and keep backup at a different geographical location. Now that is important, people. Only taking backup and having it, if you are not saying store it in a different location, you are going to reduce 1 mark, right? So it clearly says 1 mark for taking backups and 1 mark for keep it at different location, because like if the backup is kept on the same location, it will catch the fire and it will destroy again, right? So no point of having the backup on the same place, right? Or if it says backing up or copying to an online storage, so definitely it's not in the same premises, so it can give you all the marks. So 2 marks for the complete answer, right? So likewise, it will give you 10 marks. So who has done that question? Who got how the marks have went? It's something which you have to describe. Yes, Onetra, very good. Very good, Onetra. Bisandi, very good. All right. So I'm moving to the third one. It says each of the following statement has blank space. Identify the most suitable terms to fill in the blank space from the 3 options given within brackets at the end of this statement. Write down the question number and the relevant terms in your answer book. Yeah, here it says write down the relevant question number and the term in your answer book. So it is asking, in addition to an internet connection, has a space is an essential component to publish a website. Yeah, in addition to the internet connection, so content management software, web host, a user group. So it is talking about hosting a website, right? Publish a website, that means a hosting. So in addition to internet connection, we need a web host, right? And content management software is not an essential, because without a content management software, you can create the website. You can create the web pages. You can use pure notepad and type things and manage it. Or else you can use web authoring tool, right? CMS is a different category. So CMS, web authoring tool, text editor, everything will help you to create a web page and a website. So it is not an essential one, right? And again, web user groups, that is for the users part, not the publishing or hosting part. So with the A, the answer goes with web host. In the B, it says a blank is used to creating a dynamic website. Yeah, definitely the content management system or the content management software. It is the one which create to use dynamic websites, because when it comes to the content management systems, it allows you the facilities to interact with the people, to interact with the user, having the text areas, having the all these likes and hearts and smiling, all these buttons, social media things, right? The editing patterns, all these things are given by the content management system. So it must be the content management software which is going to be used for the dynamic websites. When it comes to the static websites, still we can create a static website using a CMS, as well as we can go with the simple text editor or a web authoring tool like Dreamweaver kind of things, right? We can easily create that. So part C, it says text, images, and sounds are components of what? According to this, it's a web content, right? So web content means like it can be text, it can be images, it can be sounds, it can be videos, it can be animations, it can be tables, it can be links. There are many things, right? So those are components of web content. And the part D, it says regular updating of a website is an important part of system maintenance, because regular updating means the web has already been hosted. The website has already been hosted. Now it's need to be maintained. So as a maintenance, keeping the web up to date is a very good maintenance. So you can take it, can take the maintenance as the answer of the part D. Yes, now for those things, let's see how they, yeah. Yes, so A is web host, B is content management software, C is web content, D is maintenance. So 0.5 for each part. Altogether, they will provide you 2 marks. Right, now the marks for the, yes, the blanks, right? It is something easy, right? It's this is kind of the easiest question that you are going to receive in the IT paper, right? So according to the output, you have to fill the blanks in this particular picture. So first one, human-elephant conflict. You can see it is in bigger fonts. And since this is in the head section, it is not referring to this actually people. This is something on the body section. Now here in the head section, this is definitely going to be the title. Right, and the second one is there. So here they got 2, and here they got 3, as well as here they got 4. And now you can see human-elephant conflict in Sri Lanka is in between these tags. So if you examine it carefully, human-elephant conflict in Sri Lanka is center aligned. So definitely there should be the center tag. So second one is going to be the center tag. And here, the one which contains 4, face attribute is there for the font tag. So this is going to be the font tag. And let me see what it's going to be the third one. Center tag should be there. The font tag should be there. Do we have anything else? Let's go with the marking scheme and see. Okay, they have gone with the H2 as well. Haven't they made a size? Yes, people, yes. Since they haven't mentioned the size inside the font tag, definitely the third one is going to be either H1 or H2. If the size of the font is given inside the font tag, then we have to think about what it's going to be. All right, so yeah. And here they have used the same tag, so we don't need to go with that. And where is the fifth one? Fifth one is right over here. This is fifth one. This is IMG, the SRC. Right? SRC is going to be the fifth. So this is the first one. Second. Third, the fourth. This is going to be the fifth. And sixth is going to be, let me see. Yeah, it's a paragraph, right? So sixth one is going to be P. Seventh one is going to be justified. All right. So this is 5th, 6th, and 7th. And to the end, they have used the center tag as well. During the first 5 months, there it is. They have made the table, and after the table, yes, this is the same font tag. Is it only 6 to be gone, people? 7 and 8. Let me check it. It's not very much clear. Yeah, 7 and 8 are there. Justify is there for 7. That it should be the 7. And 8, definitely it's going to be the href. Haven't they? Oh. SRC justify title captionation be found. Oh, yes, yes, yes. But two and three, they use with H2 if any of them 2 marks. Without H2, 1 mark. Ah, yes, maybe that is why they have mentioned this particular thing. They haven't mentioned about a center tag. That means if you write H2 either for the second or as the third, you are given the marks for both second and the third, right? So don't worry about the center tag. They haven't. They have forgotten to type it. Like it should be a mistype. That is why it is being given the chance, right? So for second one, either you should have the H2, or for the third one, you should have the H2, right? If it's so, you're going to take the marks. So 1 mark for each answer, so 8 marks. See how much you got out of 10. Yes, how about the marks? Yeah, Minul, it's always, Minul, they are going to use the bigger font sizes. So you can go with either H1, H2 or maximum H3. Don't go further than that, because then after this font size are going to be something very similar to the normal font size. But the only difference of the H tags are they are being bolded by default, right? So in the examination, you can go with, it's much better if you go with H1 and H2. If some 2 particular font sizes are there, so it's better you go with H1 in the first one and the H2 as the second one. Yes, yes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. H1 and H2 both can be taken as a correct. Okay, give me a second, people. Okay, the fourth one. The question goes like this. The given spreadsheet segment shows the distribution of monthly tea prices from year 2015. Use the above spreadsheet segment to answer the following questions. So as you can see, the column A, B, C are used to this. So the first row is the average monthly price of 1 kilogram of tea. So then after the A column is indicating month, B column indicates the price, C column indicates the price difference. So 214 December, 215 January, 215 February, and they have showed the spreadsheet from 5th to the 14th row, and somehow it ends with the 16th row. So it says a formula of the form function equal function cell 1 colon cell 2. Now people, this pattern will be used for the next few years of the past papers as well. That means 17, 18, 19, and 20. As well as you will be receiving the same kind, right? So be careful, like be very careful when you are answering. They have given the thing that the way that you are going to write this thing, right? A formula of the form equal function cell 1 colon cell 2 is written in cell B16. Cell B16, that means over here. To calculate and display the average price of tea for the year 2015. Write down the relevant terms for function 1, cell 1, and cell 2. Yeah. So they are asking the terms for function 1, cell 1, and cell 2. So you can illustrate it. This is going to be the function 1, this is going to be the cell 1, and this is going to be cell 2. So function 1 is going to be the word average. Cell 1 is going to be they're asking for the average price of tea for the year 2015, which starts from this cell, goes until this cell. So range is from the fourth row, A4. So cell 1 is going to be A4. Cell 2 is going to be A15. All right. So this is the best way of writing this, because that is what they are asking in the marking scheme, right? So here goes the marking scheme. So they have given the marks equal average B4 colon B15. Did I say A? No, yeah, I'm sorry. It's not the A, people, it's the B. A is just showing you the names. You have to take this figure and this figure. So that means B4 and B15. Right. So having average B4 and B15 for cell 1 and cell 2. So you are given 3 marks for that. Right. So the next question. Price difference of average monthly price for the month of December is calculated as follows. Price difference December equals price in December minus price in November. A formula of the form equals function 2 cell 3 colon cell C4 cell 4 is written in cell C15 to display the price difference of December to 15. So they are asking is like what to be written in here, and it needs to be written on this manner. So function 2, since it is a difference, we don't have a formula to be say like sum as the difference. So we can use sum as the function name. And here where you need to be tricky, cell C3, it's going to be the price of December, right? So that means B15. For cell 4, you are going to say minus B14, right? So when the equation is written, equation will be written like equal sum B15 comma minus B14. Right? It's a little bit tricky, right? Because we had no experience like using the minus symbol with the particular cell references. So learn from this point if you didn't get that. So they're asking what would be the formula displayed in cell C4. Yeah, they are asking. Yeah, earlier they were asking about the cell C15. Yes. What would be the formula displayed in cell C4? That means over here. Cell C4. If the formula in cell C15 is copied to the cell C4. Yes, now this need to be copied to this particular point. So it's easy to match. It's going to be equal sum. B15 is going to become B4 colon, this is not a comma people, comma එකත් ගැටලුවක් comma එක ගැටලුවක් වෙනවා. Here it's going to be colon because they have given this kind of a formula. B4 colon minus B3. Yeah, yes, Minol, but this is the way they are asking it. So we have to go with that. Right, and they say name 2 appropriate chart types available in spreadsheet software to show the variation in the average monthly price of tea for year 2015. So the general answers, the famous answers that you are going to give, column charts and bar charts. Even you can say the line charts here as well, right? Because it is a variant. Right. The last one is asking, right cell range would you use for the horizontal axis to draw the charts in your answer in for above. So the horizontal axis means the x-axis. It's going to show you what is the particular year that has occurred. Right. So x-axis, the horizontal axis is going to be the month. So they're asking about the cell range. So, and they're asking about the fluctuation for year 2015. So cell range is going to be what? A4 to A15, right? Because this particular things should be the name tags. All right, so let's see how the marking scheme says. So as we talked about, it says equal B15 minus B14. They have given the marks for that as well. Or they have used the sum. This is equals B4 minus B3. Or sum B4 minus B3. So bar chart, line chart, column chart, all three are okay. So any two of them will give you the marks. And here A4 colon A15, as well as they have taken a one like B4 colon B15 as well. It won't matter, right? Yeah, much better you go with the A4 colon A15. Right, so see how much you got. For the first one, it's 3 marks. For the second one, it's 1 mark. For the third one, it's 1 mark again. For the fourth one, it's 3 marks. And for the fifth one, it is 2 marks. So see how much you got out of 10. Yes, people? How is that? Yes, people? No one has done that. Okay, Yonitra, that's a good mark. And meanwhile, I'm moving to the fifth question. So here it says a school band has a collection of instruments and they are lent to students who do not have instruments but want to be part of the school band. The school band maintains a database to manage the lending of instruments to the students. The database contains table as given below: instrument table, student table, borrowing table. So they are asking list 2 primary key fields and their respective table names in the above database. So if you are going to choose a primary key, it should be a unique one, as well as those values should not be null in any particular row, right? And again, we are not going to use some particular names, addresses, kind of things as a primary key, which since it can be a little bit lengthier. So if you take the instrument table, you can clearly identify the IID refers to the item, because all these values are unique. And when it comes to the student table, again, SID. Yes, so SID goes with the student table. And for the borrowing table, we can't say IID and SID together because I003 S004, I003 S004 has repeated as well. So SID, IID alone, it's not going to be the primary key anyway. Together, they can't perform a one. So for that kind of a situation, all 3 columns will be the primary key of that table. Right, so it's much better you go with the instrument table and the student table when answering in this question. So let's go with the marking scheme. Here comes the marking scheme. Yeah, the first question says IID instrument table, SID student table. Right, so that should be the answer. So 1.5 for each part. So yeah, yes, so you should highlight or mention the particular primary key column name as well as the table name, right? Then only you will be able to take 3 marks. So the next question, it says the school band receives a donation of 2 new drums on 2nd of December 2016. So what table needs to be updated in the database? So they are receiving 2 new things, which means drums, right? So which table is going to be updated? It's going to update the instrument table, right? No new student has been added and no any borrowings has happened. So there should be 2 statements, right? So let's go with the marking scheme. So it should be something like this. The table name is instrument table. So how it is being updated can be like this: I004 drum, 2nd of December 2016. So it's better you go with the same format, right? And and since there are 2 drums have been received, there should be 2 rows to indicate those 2 drums. Right, so 2 marks will be given for the correct output. And what else? Yeah, so the third part is asking, someone joins the band on 8th of December 2016 and borrows a trumpet on the same day. Write down the update rows of the table in the database. What table needs to be updated in the database? That's the first question. And they're asking to write down the records as per the second part. So it's a student who is newly involved with the bank. So that means a new addition. So the student table should be updated, as well as he is borrowing some particular trumpet. The borrowing table is also updated, should also be updated. So 2 tables. So those 2 lines should be written as the answer for the part B. So the names of the tables, student table and borrowing table. So 1 mark for each. That means it will give you 2 marks. And the input that you are going to do. Right. So like the new ways or like the updation that has happened is given by the part B. In the student table, S006 someone, and why the other one is empty, because they haven't told you in the question to which grade that he is being fixed to, right? So because of that, you can keep this space as an empty space. Right, and since he is borrowing a trumpet, you can go with either of these 2 statements. Right. So if that is there, 2 marks will be given. Got it, everyone? Yes, people, is that clear? Okay. Right, moving to the next question and see how much you got out of 10. That's the end of it, I guess. Yeah. So you see how much you got out of 10. So meanwhile, I'm moving to the next question, the 6th one. Assume that the principal of your school requests you to develop a computer-based system for the generated report cards to replace the current manual system. As the accuracy of the report card is a very important factor, your IT teacher advises you to determine suitable deployment approach. State one method that can be used to gather the requirements of the system. Let's go with the marking scheme. So to gather the information required, we can use the observations, document reviews, interviewers, questionnaires, surveys, prototyping processes, kind of things. So any one of it will give you 1 mark. And the second question, you have decided to use the waterfall model to develop the new system. Point out one limitation of the waterfall model. So when it comes to the waterfall model, we know like the requirement should be very specific and concrete before we apply, or like before we start the development, or like before we execute the project. Because waterfall model is such, right? If the requirements are being concretely defined, it's not going to change for any reason during the project. So it will be done according to as it expected, right? So the limitation is going to be like final product is available only at the end of the process. That can also can taken as an answer. Not possible to change a requirement. As we discussed, all requirements should be identified at the start. Unable to go back to previous phases. Those kind of things will be the reasons for the disadvantages of the waterfall model. And the second part, it is asking, write down an alternative deployment approach to the waterfall model. So according to your syllabus, you can go with these kind of things: iterative model, spiral model, prototyping model, right? So those kind of things can be taken. Right, and the part C, it is asking, what would be the most appropriate deployment method for this system? State one reason for the recommendation you made in C1 above. So for the part C, you can take like either the parallel or the pilot deployment, right? So the reasons, you can say it is much safer or like less risky approaches, right? Because since it is a what kind of thing? Yeah, so report card base of things, like it needs to deal with the report cards. So when you are dealing with the report cards, it should be it should work with the minimum risk, right? So the risk will be reduced when you work with the parallel and the pilot modes, right? And yeah, so the marks are going to go like this. So the part A is going to be 1 mark, part B, first one 1 mark, second one 1 mark again, and part C 1 mark, the second part 1 mark again. And in the second question, they are asking, a company with head office in Colombo and 3 branches in Kandy, Mathura, and Jaffna decided to conduct monthly branch managers meeting using the video conferencing technology. Write down one advantage of using the video conferencing technology for the company. So the major advantage is going to become the they can discuss the things on their with their particular geographical location. They don't need to gather to a one particular geographical location. And Dulagi, are you asking this for the last part of like the C part as a C part answer? Okay. Appropriate development. Yeah, yes, you can take it good. You can take that as an answer. No problem. Okay, so the next question. Write down one problem the company may face when using the video conference technology. Let's go with the marking scheme. So the benefits, they can say save time, save traveling costs. For part B, oh, hold on, they jumbled this up. Yeah. So the disadvantage is going to be one of the lack of face-to-face interaction, need an internet connection, high initial cost, right, and high maintenance cost, need technical supports, those kind of things, right? So any one of those will give you 1 mark. In part C, they are asking, currently the above company uses printed letters and memos to communicate with its employees. It decides to use a modern technology to replace the current method of the communication with the employees. Recommended suitable message technology for this proposed. So, yeah, are they asking us to recommend? Okay, the technology they're asking, yes. So we can easily say it's email. But email technology can be placed since it is particular network, so everyone can communicate in a one particular time, right? So things will get easier. So they have said email, instance messaging, MMS, right? So those kind of ones. So they are not giving the marks for the SMS that is being specifically said. No mark for technology such as SMS that cannot be used for sharing document. Right, so it should have the ability of sharing the things. Right, so for saying it is email, you are given 1 mark, and for justification, you have given 0.4. Right, so the final question on that particular part, it says, in addition to the video conferencing and your recommendation in above, state 2 other methods the company can use to communicate with its employees using modern technology. There are many ways. Here they have said social media, through the SMS, through wikis, through forums, online chatting, teleconferencing, instance messaging. So there are many. All right, so have the marks. And see how much you got out of 10. Okay, how about the marks for that, people? Okay, seems no one has done that. All right. Let's go with the 7th question. Did everyone like at least anyone who has done this thing? At least one? Okay. People, haven't you done this? No one has done this. Okay, one has done. So it says the pseudocode given below reads 2 numbers and displays the larger number. So it says start, get A and B. If A larger than B, then display A, else display B, and if and stop. Draw a flow chart to represent the above pseudocode. Now that's a simple thing. I think we have discussed this in the class as well. So it's like this. So it should be in the oval shape. Input A, B. Right, so if the A larger than B is there, if it is yes, output A, if it is not, output B, and then they meet on the command show, or like the command path, and stop it. Right, so altogether 7 marks should be there. Right, so 7 marks will be given like for start and begin, 0.5 mark each. That means 1 mark for the start and stop, and yeah, 1 mark for all correct symbols and labels. Then 0.5 marks for the completeness. So likewise, it's going to give you 7 marks. So see how much you got out of 7. Everything should be like perfect like this. Okay, Onitra, no worries, no worries. Right, and going for the second part, suppose a school has conducted an examination of a particular subject for 100 students and recorded the marks scored. The given flowchart with blanks spaces indicated by label A to D is designed to read the marks and display the highest. Identify and write down the appropriate statement from label A, B, C, and D. You are not required to copy a flowchart to your answer block. So label A, B, C, and D. So it says start input X, X is assigned to the max, 1 is assigned to the count. So they are trying to figure out the weight, I'm sorry, not the weight, the marks, neither. The marks of 100 students. All right, so in the meantime, they are going to find who has the maximum mark as well. So since this is the one which related with X larger than max, and as well as it is a selection, goes with the like the common path, right? So if this is going to be the condition, then this is going to be the condition for the selection. This is going to be the condition for the iteration. So why it is iterate? It should take the value of 100 students, right? So the count of the students should be maintained. So that is why count equal 1 is there, right? So here we can easily check for A is count. They are iterating on the years path. That means I have to ask the question which can answer as years. So is count less than 100, right? So if the count is less than 100, they are going to ask for 100 things again and again. All right, so let me check whether it is less than or equal is going to be there. Hold on, count will be, yes, printing mistake. It should be count equals count plus 1. Okay, plus එකයි minus එකයි මාරු වෙලා තියෙනවා මගේ copy එකේ. I don't know how about yours. And B is going to be, are they asking us to show that? Yeah, they haven't told you something like that. So Yes, so this obviously can go with the input in the next mark. Otherwise, you won't be able to do that, right? So this should go with input X again, right? Yeah. So this is going to be the output. That output is going to give you the things that they are showing about. They say the read this mark and display the highest. So here, display max. Hold on. Yeah, this is display max as the maximum value. Right, so this process is going to be, if X is larger than max, then current max is smaller than the user input. So max should be given the value of X. Let's cross check this. Yeah, so A is count less than or equal 100. If we go with the equal sign, we didn't argue that name. So like when the count is upgraded to 2, if the condition is correct. So here you have taken the first input and you have increased it. And here you will be given the second input. Right, so if it is the second input, the max will be managed or compared with the X. Right, so yeah, so as it says, here the second input is taken and the first count is done per iteration. So that means when the 100th time is taken, it should be increases into 101. So for that reason, we can say count should be less than or equal 100. When less than 100, when the count becomes 100, it's not going to read the 100th value. Right, so the answers are going to be A is count less than or equal 100, B is input X, C is max is given the value of X, D is output max. So 3 marks. Yeah, there should be a problem. Like in here, they asking us to give all the marks for the part 3. Do we got a part 3 over here? We don't, right? No, I don't know why it is. Anyway, so like it says, 3 marks if this question is attempted with or without correct answers. Yeah, maybe because they are missing the components. They're supposed to give them in the brackets, maybe because of that. Right. Okay, so the 2016 is done. So see how much you got out of 60, and as well as since your MCQ numbers are here, see how much you got out of 100. And any questions regarding this, I can clear it out for now. Otherwise, we can go for the next paper and take the question numbers. Okay, people, so calculate the total marks. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you the 2017. Is everyone is done with the 2017? People who has not done the 217? Oh, Minul, you should have. Okay, so since we got 20 minutes, I'm going to show you the 2017 paper. So you may start doing it now. Then try the first 10 questions. So it's 411. The first 6 questions are here. So for the first 10 questions, I'll give you 10 minutes. So I'll score it accordingly. Then after, I'm going to start the discussion. So try the first 6 questions. First 10 questions, I'll show you the rest of the 4 after a little while. So start doing. People who have not done it yet. Okay, Bisandi. So you have to wait for a little while. So people who haven't done this, start doing. Okay, Dulagi, that's a nice mark. Keep it up. Minha, yes. Okay, 1 mark is behind. So it's good you, it's a good mark, Dua, right? So have the mistakes. You are through. So it's good to have, good to learn what are the mistakes are. Samadhi, yeah, that's a good mark, Dua. Try, try to achieve 85 line, right? It's good, right? So keep it up and try to advance so you'll be in the safe side. I have moved the questions a little bit up. So if you miss anything, just let me know. Minul, how about the situation? Okay, okay, keep it up. Right. Okay, so let's discuss the first 10 questions quickly. Right, which of the following decimal numbers is equivalent to the binary numbers 01011? Right, so it is easy, right? So we are going to do that. 01011. So the place values are going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16 over here. So we are going to consider the 8, 2, and 1 as the total value. So 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 plus 1 is 11. So the answer is going to be the first one. All right. And the second one, which of the following octal numbers is equivalent to the binary number? This particular one, right? So that is easy again. So what you have to do is you have to divide this into pieces, right? So let's take it over here. The binary number is 1. Like how many ones are there? Like 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 0, 2 ones. 0, 0, 1, 0. So we are going to group it into the groups which has 3 bits. Then we are going to consider the place values 1, 2, and 4 over here. So this gives you 2, and this gives you 6, and this gives you 6 again, and this gives you 7. Right, so what we have done is we consider the place values which has 1 over it. So 7662. Fourth one is going to be the answer. Right, so the third one, the hexadecimal equivalent, this particular one, yes. So again, we have to separate this binary number into the group of 4s. So 1, 2, 3 ones, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. So the groups are going to be not the thirds, but the fourth. Right, so each and every group is going to have the 4 bits. Right, so 3101 011 3 zeros 31010. Yes. So how we are going to place the values, like 1, 2, 4, 8 are going to be the place values. So from this 1, 2, 4, 8 place values, we are going to take the places which has 1 above it. Right, so here we are going to choose 8 and 2, which is 10, which indicates A. And here it's 2 and 1, which means 3. Here it is 4 and 2, which means 6. Here it is 8 plus 4, 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 means D. And this is, of course, 1 is going to be there. So the answer is going to be 1D63A. Right? So that means the second one, 1D63A. So the second one is the answer for the third. So consider the following statements. Okay. So it says 2B16 is equal to 53.8. So how we are going to do that? We have to check it. So 2B16, we have to extract this into the binary. So 2 can be written as 0010 because it has the place values of 1, 2, 4, 8. So B means 11. 11 can be created as, if the place values are 1, 2, 4, 8. 8 plus 2 plus 1 is going to give you 11. All right. So now we got the one full binary number, right? So we are going to divide this into the group of threes, right? So we can, this is the binary number we got. We can omit the leading zeros because it doesn't have any value. And we can divide it for the groups of threes from your right hand side. So this will have the place value of 1 to 4, which gives you 3 over here because this 1 and 2 is qualifying. Here 1 and 4 is adding up, so 5 is here. So it is 53 in 8. So the first one is correct. A is correct. So they are asking the true statement, right? So since A is correct, third one is going to be eliminated. And it says 4310 is equivalent to the 101011. So now what is 101011? 101011 is this. 101011. 101011 equals to the 538. So definitely the B is wrong. So since B is there in the fourth one, it is taken off. In the first one, it is taken off. So the correct answer is going to be the second one. The fifth one, we'll discuss that and end the session for today, people. Which of the following communication media uses the reflection of light to transmit data? So that, of course, fiber optics or the optical fiber. Second one is the answer. UTP, STP are the twisted pair categories. They use the copper wires to transmit the data. Coaxial cable, again, that the mesh, which is developed by a metal, as well as the middle copper wire, or the copper cable, allowing the coaxial cable to take the do the transmission from one into another, right? So the fifth one, for the fifth question, optical fiber is going to be the answer because it is the only one which use the light. Okay, so I want you to finish the first and the second paper both by next week after 2017. So we are going to finish that paper by next week, right? As soon as possible. So get ready, people, right? So I will send you the marking scheme a little bit earlier to the groups. So you can mark the paper and send me the incorrect answers, right? Or incorrect question numbers. So we can start the discussion straight away, right? Okay, people. So I'm going to end the session from here for today. So by next week, we are going to discuss the 2017 paper. Right. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a very nice weekend.